grounded, he will.
It's the Skinny on Sports Podcast with Aaron Cowk.
I throw balls far. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Cowk with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
And a good Wednesday morning out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports right here on 98.1 FM. The Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. We can get into all kinds of stuff. You know, we're kind of tongue-in-cheek talking about Joey Chestnut being the most dominant athlete of all time after the hot dog eating contest. I have a guy that might really be that.
Yeah?
Yes. Novak Djokovic.
Oh, there you go.
Holy Moses.
A real athlete.
A real live athlete. Does he get to play the U.S. Open this year? Or are the idiots running this country still not letting him in because of COVID? Notice how COVID went away when Russia invaded Ukraine?
Yep.
Isn't that odd?
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow, I think Djokovic gets to play. He's trying to win the Grand Slam. He's won the first two. He's in the semifinals at Wimbledon. He's incredible. Incredible.
And he is an athlete.
He is an athlete.
Sorry, Joey Chestnut. You're an eater. You're a hobbyist. You're not an athlete.
I don't know. Normally, if you're an eater, your body isn't very athletic looking. Joey Chestnut's pretty athletic looking to be such an eater. What do you think he has on a normal day?
There are some people who don't look like athletes who are athletes too. So
that's true.
Yeah. What do you think he eats on a normal day?
Yeah.
I think normal stuff.
Just a normal amount of food?
Yeah, I think it's normal intake of food. I don't think it's anything more or less. I think it's just normal. Hey, by the way, I know what I'm doing next 4th of July.
What?
I'm going down to Key West because they had a key lime pie eating contest.
Oh, I love key lime pie.
I am absolutely in on that.
I love key lime pie.
Yes, me too.
I want you to explain something to me at the end of the show that I just don't understand. College football related.
You're usually the one explaining stuff to me, so I'll try.
Well, I'm racking my brain trying to figure out how this makes sense. And I want you to explain to me why it makes sense. Big 12 Media Days start today down in Arlington, Oklahoma State, Texas. Among the participants today, I have a question. Who's the best coach in this league? I saw a list that I can't wait to go down. The longest tenured coaches. Now that Pat Fitzgerald has been shown the door, that's going to be what I want you to explain to me.
Oh boy!
By the way,
thanks for that.
No. It's not necessarily that.
I don't want to explain what happened in the locker room.
No.
It's
not that.
Oh, okay.
It's not that. But he's been shown the wayside, so it's been shoved to the wayside. So now, who are the longest 10? I wonder how many you can get of the top 10 in the country.
Of longest tenured coaches?
In the country.
Okay.
What position group in the Big 12 is the best?
In the entire Big 12?
In the entire Big 12.
Like
so-and-so's kicker. Or the quarterback room, whatever it is.
So, because like what I say, I see what you're saying. You mean as on a team?
On any team in the league.
Gotcha.
Who has the best position
Because I say
group?
in a conference, the best quarterbacks are in the Pac-12.
No. I'm talking about within the Big 12 on a team. What position group is the best?
Gotcha.
What do you think the send-off is going to be like here in this final season for Oklahoma and Texas? And then also, look into your crystal ball and tell me how many and who are in the Big 12 in, say, 3 years. Okay? We've got a young man that hails from Elk City, Oklahoma, has moved to Edmond, who is trying to make history as we speak. Up at Southern Hills in Tulsa, we'll tell you all about that. All-Star Game last night. A couple of notable things happened throughout that. What are some of your favorite memories of the All-Star Game? I saw one yesterday that I kind of forgot about, and it piqued my interest in this question. I think, just moments at All-Star Games past. And then there was an incredible golf shot hit last night at Elk City Golf and Country Club during the Tuesday night men's scramble that is worthy of being told the story on the air.
Love to hear it.
225-9698 is the phone or the text line. That is 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things, whatever else might be on your mind. Feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside of the listening area and want to stay in touch with the show live, do that a couple of different ways. Log on to kadsam.com, or you can download the app. The app has it all. Radio, Penny News, brand new edition of that Penny News hit the website last night at midnight, thepennynews.com. You can check out the new deals there. Print edition will be filtering out this evening. By tomorrow morning, you can pick up a fresh, free copy of the Penny News anywhere around, basically the middle of America.
Absolutely. Yes.
Big Elk and Paragon TV coming at you. It's getting close. Month and a half.
I've been down in the lab getting ready.
And there's starting to be some talk about that around these parts.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah. So that's there in the app as well. And, of course, Skinny on Sports podcast. If you missed the show entirely, you can find us literally anywhere where you find any other podcast. We'll be right there with you. How are you this morning, Jared?
I'm well. I'm good. Ready for another hot day. How about yourself?
It is going to be hot. I just thought it was hot yesterday. So I played golf instead of mowing the yard. That was a bad choice because it's going to be way hotter today. May have to put that off.
Yeah.
I may have to put that off to another day.
I think I'm going to go to a movie.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you going to see?
The new Mission Impossible.
Today?
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday release?
Yes, it is.
That's weird.
It's normally
a Friday release.
Well, they tried to, release it a couple days before the weekend.
To
gets
try to
much
make
money.
it look better.
Yeah.
How many is this?
The Mission Impossibles?
Yeah.
I think this is 7. Yeah.
How is there that many impossible missions?
Apparently there's a lot of impossible stuff going on, but I think what's more impressive is Tom Cruise is
still going.
Still doing it. He's like 60 something, isn't he? Or almost 60?
He's got to be getting up to 60.
But he's still doing he's doing all these stunts. It's his own stunts. I saw this featurette where he's driving a motorcycle off a cliff and with a parachute on his back, and he really did it. No CGI, nothing like that.
He is 61.
He's 61. He's still doing this stuff. It's pretty impressive. It's actually inspiring. Like, man.
There was it was kind of a preview to this on one of the channels the other day.
Yeah.
And it was showing this exact scene, kind of how it started. I'm like, holy cow, he does that.
Oh, he does it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go, Tom. He's been interesting because he was obviously the young heartthrob guy.
Yeah.
Then he seemed to go through crazy Tom Cruise stint there. And then now he seems like kind of the cool dude again.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's very
self-aware. Like, everybody goes through their trials and tribulations and everything, but, with everything that he went through, Scientology, Katie Holmes, all that stuff. But now it seems like he's very down to earth and self-aware, and he's very passionate about making movies, like real movies, not like green screen bunch of CGI. Like, he's like, hey, if we're making a movie, I'm doing this. And
shall we blame it all on Katie Holmes?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, she messed up Dawson.
That's a slippery slope there. Yeah, she did.
Joey messed up Dawson there.
Yep.
Pretty bad. And Pacey, of course, maybe the name messed him up, but
oh boy. No, but 7 in this movie it's like It's called Dead Reckoning Part 1. So there's a second.
So you know
one
there's another
coming
one coming.
Coming like next summer. And I think he said that's it. That's done with the Mission Impossibles. Which kind of makes me sad because I enjoy them every time they come out. So,
Do you know what his real last name is?
No, I don't.
Mapother.
Yeah, probably a good career move to change that last name.
His name is Tom Cruise Mapother the Fourth. Yeah, good move.
Good move.
Good move, just shortening that to old Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
How much cooler does Tom Cruise sound than Tom Mapother the Fourth?
Exactly. Mission Impossible starring Tom Mapother. Nope.
Great move for Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Cruise is cool.
Top Gun starring
Tom Mapother.
That doesn't really roll off the tongue, does
If his name was Tom Mapother, he may never have been in Top Gun.
That's right.
Tom Cruise, feel free. Chime right in. All right, so that's good.
Well, because the kids are out of town. They've been out of town all week, and I've been finding myself. I mean, I watched all the game last night. I'm not chasing kids. So my wife went to dinner with her friends last night, and she said, "Well, you can go do something." So I think I'm going to go see this movie. What else do I got to do?
Well, thank you for allowing me to do something, Allie.
Hey,
Appreciate that.
Thanks for taking the leash off. Appreciate it.
I've got a joke, but I'm not going to make it.
Probably not.
I'm going to be very, very quiet. Move right along.
Does it involve her purse? And
Yeah, a jar, something like that. Sometimes they're on the mantle. All right, so last night I did not witness this with my own eyes, but I did get it verified by two separate sources other than the person telling the story.
Okay.
So I feel like we can bring this to air, and its validity has been confirmed. So it's the Tuesday night men's scramble. We're on number 7, par 3, water left, cart path right, headed straight north.
Gotcha.
Okay. Our man, Keem Jordan, or KJ, as everybody knows him, hits a horrific shot off the toe that's heading well right of the green. The pin is in the middle right. If you play it at Elk City, it's in between the fringe, and then there's a slope that kind of runs down the middle of the green that slopes toward the left. It's right of it, so it's above that slope.
Okay.
It's really hard to get it kind of in that in the right area. He hits a horrible shot. It's heading straight right, and it hits the corner of the cart path. Bounds left over the mound to the distance changed a few times as he told the story over and over. It went from 20 feet to 12 feet to 8 feet, whatever it was. And then he gets up there and he makes the putt for birdie all by himself.
Wow. I mean, hey, most of my game is luck, so I'm not knocking it or anything.
That is lucky.
Yeah, it's lucky, but
It's lucky.
if you don't have luck, what do you got?
Not only to hit the right part of the cart path, but then also a lot of times it'll just shoot way harder.
Yeah.
And instead, it was like somebody chipped it. Like you had a little gnome over there that hit the cart path and then chipped it up nice and soft as it rolled over.
I've had a bad shot where it was a worm burner and it was going straight for a bunker and it just ramped out of the bunker and landed perfectly on the green.
Right on the green.
And I'm like, hey, whatever works, it works.
So that was
That's pretty cool.
That was the highlight of the night. Apparently, was the lucky shot off the cart path that KJ hit, and then he made the putt all by himself. You watched the All-Star Game. I watched the last couple of innings when we got done, just in time to see, what was his name, Elias Diaz hit the go-ahead home run in the 8th inning for the National League. I knew that the American League had dominated this game, but when I was preparing the sports report yesterday afternoon, I really kind of dug into it. I don't think I realized exactly how much they had dominated this game. So since 1988, I stopped at 1990, but they won in 89 and 88. The American League was 29-6-1.
Yeah, they've dominated it.
9 straight wins before last night. Think about this, Jared. You don't have a child that was born the last time the National League won before last night.
Yeah, that's true.
Diaz became the first Rocky to win the MVP of the All-Star Game. It was the 6th go-ahead home run in the All-Star Game in the 8th inning or later. Do you remember who did it last?
No, I cannot. No.
Shame.
Oh, no. Who was? I'm not an encyclopedia of All-Star Games. Who was it?
Hank Blaylock.
Oh, really?
Ranger.
Very good.
You know who else did it?
No.
You're going to know 2 names and maybe not anymore. Mike Schmidt, Cookie Rojas, Gus Bell, and Ted Williams.
Ah.
I'll take you to ESPN stats and info for that. What did you think of the game?
I enjoyed it. 3-2. It's like I said yesterday. It still feels like a game, and it's a game full of all-stars. But they're actually playing. They're pitching. They're attempting to hit. They're making great plays. I mean, the first inning started off with a bang. 2 back-to-back grabs at the wall for the AL. Not robbing home runs, but robbing extra bases, and that I'm like, yeah, that's why they're all-stars. So I enjoyed it. I thought the pitching was solid and everything. I like that. I'm glad it wasn't like 10-8. I like the 3-2 and the drama at the end where the American League had 2 runners on with 2 outs with a chance to possibly tie or take or get the win. I was hoping for a tie to extend that thing. I doubt they would have played extras. I don't know, but I enjoy it. That's why I like this. This is one of the best All-Star games of all the major leagues.
There's no doubt that it's the best, and it's not even really all that close. The one thing, and I mentioned it yesterday, what is going on? Why won't they just let them wear their uniforms?
Yeah, I saw more banter about that. I agree.
Good grief.
100% agree with you on that one.
Those National League uniforms were horrific.
Yeah, they're all horrific, man.
Just let them wear their unis.
Yeah. I mean, make the hats, I get it, and sell them. People buy them, kids want them, whatever. But let them wear, wear the unis. They did during the home run derby, but maybe switch it. Make them wear those uniforms during the home run derby and wear their uniforms during the game.
I had a bad feeling when on Monday when everybody was wearing their uniforms
that they were going to.
I had a bad feeling that last night was going to happen.
They had announced that they would. I mean, they had unveiled them, and they were making the big deal. Said this is, I guess there's a type of material or a new cut to the uniform that all uniforms will be like in the future.
Oh, really?
I guess to cool them down or whatever. But you never notice that unless you actually touch them and feel them or buy one yourself. But so that's what they're making that up as a big deal. But you're always underwhelmed when they unveil these all-star uniforms. They make it a big deal in every sport. You're like, okay, whatever, who cares? I'm not buying. No one's buying these. No one cares. So, yeah, go back to the normal uniforms. That's what makes it cool too. To see all those, you see a Ranger uniform and a Yankee uniform and all of them out there.
And like on the text line, you couldn't tell who was who. There's no way to tell.
Yeah, you're right. That's a problem too. Yeah.
But
yeah,
good game. It's the best All-Star game.
I did enjoy. Sometimes it's a bad move and a little watered down when you have players mic'd up. I did enjoy players mic'd up and them getting their thoughts. And what was cool was the players, they had like more than one at one time, and the players could hear each other, and they're like kind of conversing with each other. They even had a pitcher mic'd up. Evalde for the Texas Rangers. There's others, which leads me to another point. Is really cool. First time since in a long time. It only happened 3 times in the history of the All-Star game where 6 teammates are on the field at the same time.
Did you know the other 2?
It was the Yankees in 50-something?
39.
39.
And it was the Brooklyn Dodgers in 51 or something like that?
You're in company with Brooklyn Dodgers. Yeah, it's insane. That was cool. And, man, you think Seattle, I thought, it's going to be overcast. I mean, they had perfect weather. It was a great All-Star game. It looked like a fun atmosphere.
So, speaking of Seattle.
And they booed every time Houston did anything.
So, speaking of Seattle, one of the other times, maybe the last time the All-Star game was in Seattle, I saw this moment. It just kind of popped up on the socials yesterday. It was like 22 years ago or whatever it was. And it got me to thinking, okay, what are some of your favorite All-Star Game moments? So the one I'm talking about was a young, newly minted Texas Rangers starting shortstop Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah.
Ceding the shortstop position to one Cal Ripken Jr. as the game is about to start. Joe Torre's making that motion like you have to do it. Cal Ripken clearly is not wanting to do that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Not wanting to be the show, but A-Rod made him. Joe Torre made him, and so then he played the first inning in his shortstop position. I thought that was a really kind of one of those cool moments that you would only see in an All-Star game.
Yeah. I wrote down a couple, but the one that was always fresh on my mind, I was a high school kid, but when they honored Ted Williams, 99, I think.
Yeah, 99.
And, of course, you can't mention All-Star Game and fun stuff like John Kruk versus Randy Williams.
Randy Johnson.
Or Randy Johnson, excuse me. And switching sides of the plate, turning his helmet backwards. And that's what's fun about the All-Star Game. And you saw a little bit of that last night, players laughing. And, a guy got thrown out at second, and they're kind of laughing at each other, hugging each other. So it kind of takes you back like for love of the game, right? So stuff like that. But those are the two things that I remember.
Yeah, definitely the Randy Johnson, John Kruk is iconic.
Yes.
The way that all went down. Torrey Hunter robbing Barry Bonds, which kind of ended up leading to the tie. I mean, it was kind of the tie.
Yeah. Yeah.
There in Milwaukee when he robbed that home run. And then the everything surrounding that year in Boston in 1999, the all-century team, Ted Williams, the home run contest. That was just a cool time. And Pedro just mowing people down. So those are kind of some of the ones. And then, of course, the most iconic thing I think that's ever happened in the All-Star Game is when Pete Rose ran over Ray Fosse.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the moment, right? Yeah, I totally agree. Only time A-Rod was cool.
I agree with you there.
So, good times. Good times were had by all last night, I think, at the All-Star Game, and now we get
I watched. I wonder if anyone else watched, ratings-wise. I wonder what that looked like. Looked like Seattle brought a good crowd. Next year looks pretty cool. It's going to be down in Arlington.
Right.
Very tempting to look into.
It's kind of interesting that it used to go back and forth between American League, National League. It feels like they've kind of gone away from that.
Yeah, I think they're going to. Well, obviously with the newer stadium, they're going to go over there. Yeah, I think they are going away from that.
So that was the All-Star Game. Okay, there's something going on right now as we speak. Yeah, Scott's right. It ruined Ray Fosse's career. It literally did. Getting mowed over by Pete Rose. There is something going on right now. History is attempting to be made right now.
What's that?
So in the history of the state of Oklahoma and golf, no one has ever won the OGA Junior, the OGA Stroke Play, and then the OGA State Amateur Championship in the same summer. Former Elk Cityan, headed to OU, Mr. Ryder Cowan has a chance to complete that trifecta. And there's actually 4 if you consider the Junior Stroke Play and the Junior Am, which is kind of 2 tournaments in one. We've reached the semifinal of the 111th OGA State Amateur Championship. It's all match play. Ryder has won 4 matches so far, and it has not been easy. First round match was against Cole Stevenson of Tulsa. It took 21 holes to win that one. Second round match was kind of a Western Oklahoma theme with Luke Phillips, former Sarite, former SWASU Bulldog, current second place team member of the KECO Open. Ryder beat him 2-1. Then yesterday, William Sides, Cascia Hall fame, plays golf at Southern Methodist University, SMU. 22 holes before Ryder could beat him. And then yesterday afternoon, Stephen Carney, who won this tournament in 2012 at Southern Hills, Ryder beat him 1-up to advance to the semifinals as we speak. Going on also, Ian Davis, the defending champion of the OGA State Amateur Championship, also a member of the second-place team at the KECO. Just give you an idea of
that's pretty good.
Kind of some guys that may make their way out here for that one. Ian is in the semifinals as well. Through 7 holes, Ian is behind a William McDonald. I remember that name. I believe he's Heritage Hall guy from a few years back. And our man Justin Barrick has given us live updates on the text message. He said McDonald just made a 60-footer on number for a 60-footer on number 6.
Where can you follow it? Is it on the golf stats?
okgolf.org.
Okay.
OGA website, okgolf.org. Doing a better job. Yesterday, it seemed like the website was lagging a little bit. Wasn't keeping it as up-to-date as I would have liked it. But so far today, I mean, Justin's sending me messages. He's there, and then it's popping up. So Ian Davis 4 down through 7. On the other side, Ryder is playing Mesa Falur. He is the guy that plays golf at UMKC, the Kangaroos.
Oh, yeah.
And so far, so good. Ryder 3 up through 6. He was 4 up through 5, and then Falur made a birdie on the par 3, number 6 there at Southern Hills. But Ryder 3 up through 6. If he wins to play this afternoon, with a chance to become the first person ever to sweep the OGA events in the summer. So really cool stuff from a kid that grew up here. And, you know, I got his number from his grandpa yesterday. We're going to have to get him on.
Yeah.
Just to kind of talk about what he's done, you know, from the little bitty kid that was out here that you couldn't wait to see grow up to now a dude that's headed to OU in the fall.
I mean, he had, from your point of view, I think it's fair to say that he had expectations as a kid. You saw it, right? You knew,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's...
Oh, I got news for you.
He surpassed him?
People could not... Flashback 8 years ago or whatever, the idea of Trace and Ryder on the same high school golf team, albeit not at the same, you know, Trace is older. Oh, I mean, paint the banner. Mark it down. Add another title to the list. 2. I think they'd have played together 2 years. Added to the list, baby. You know, and it just didn't transpire that way. It's funny. His grandma was at our house on July the 4th. We were just hanging out after the golf tournament.
Yeah.
I was asking about him. You know, I knew that this tournament was coming up. What else is he doing? And, you know, that kind of thing. How's it? You're getting ready to go OU. She's like, yeah, he's doing, you know, this and that. She goes, you know, it's funny because I was talking to him and he was talking about, you know, playing golf at Oak Tree where they're at, you know. He's like, yeah, man, me and Javi playing. And she was like, I was thinking, who, Javi? I've never heard of this name. Is some kid? You know what? You know who it was?
Yeah, Victor Hovland.
Victor Hovland.
Yeah,
Javi. So basically, he went from having a chance, you know, play with me in the afternoons or evenings to playing with Victor Hovland. It's probably a little bit of an upgrade from here to there. But yeah, good stuff. Good kid. And he is, like I said, 3 up through 6 holes, playing the par 4 7th there at Southern Hills. So we will keep you abreast of that situation for sure with the Skinny on Sports Report this evening.
Very good.
Yeah, very good. And then hopefully we can get him on to talk about
that'd be cool.
what he's done, what he's been doing, and what's to come in his golf career.
That would be cool. Get him on. Yeah.
Very good. Big 12 Media Day is getting started down in Arlington today. Brett Yormark, interested to hear what he has to say. How much detail will he get into about who or when or how to replace Oklahoma and Texas in this conference with some conference realignment? I wouldn't imagine we'd hear just a whole bunch of specifics about that, but it'd be nice to, you know. It'd be cool if he said, yeah, well, guess what? Here comes, you know, so-and-so.
Yeah. I mean, with them changing the day to get on center stage with their media days, and he's been very proactive, and like you said, being businesses open with the Big 12, going international with it, trying to, you've seen everything. He's trying to make it the cool new hip conference and all that stuff. So it wouldn't shock me at all if he came out and said, "Oh, by the way, a big announcement: Colorado's coming next year."
Yeah, yeah. You'd think it'd be two, so Colorado and whoever, Utah or whatever it might be. Yeah, I mean, it's the difference between Brett Yormark and Bob Bowlesby in like enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It's not even on the same atmosphere.
He's like the cool new hip principal that comes in, turns his seat around backwards. Hey, guys, let's jive a little bit. Hat backwards.
God, I wish I could remember. What was the guy? Obviously, Mr. Belding.
Yeah, Belding's brother.
Yes. What was his name?
I don't know. But
Richard Belding was principal.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Rod.
Rod. He's going to take him on a trip on a river or something, and he bailed on him for a woman.
Yes.
Which, come on. Can you blame him?
Zachary got a lesson there.
Yeah. So is that what he's – so what is that what the Big 12 commissioner is going to do now? Is he going to leave?
Is he bailing?
Is he going to bail, go to a –
Is he bailing on Mike Gundy for a woman?
Oh, man.
All right, so we hear from – I had that list pulled up a second ago, and I changed the page. Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Texas, I think UCF is today, or Houston, Holgerson's there, all today. Who's the best coach in this league?
Right now, I would have told you, man, and tenure doesn't mean best. So I know everyone wants to say Mike Gundy. He's a good coach, but best coach. And I look at the parameters of, who could get hired away to go to bigger jobs or in the NFL or, just stuff like that. I think I would have told you a year ago would have been Matt Campbell. But after the year he's had, so I still say the jury's still out on him. Let's see how he rebounds this year. But I really like Chris Kleiman at Kansas State. He's come in and nothing's changed. I mean, well, they've won a lot. I mean, they're still winning. He's embraced that culture. That it doesn't look like you'll see new head coaches come in and try to change things into their vision. He's kind of come in and said, "This is what's always worked at Kansas State." And he continues that. It still feels like that Kansas State from the late 90s and early 2000s. So I like Chris Kleiman a lot. I think he's up there as the best. Who do you got?
Gundy.
Okay.
With Kleiman right there. I don't see how you could possibly pick anybody else but those two.
Yeah, I'm going up and down. I can't right now.
I think. I mean, what Gundy has done at Oklahoma State has been remarkable, and I get the tenure of it. Yeah, I mean he's clearly the older statesman of the league. Now that you've seen Bob Stoops go into retirement, you've seen Gary Patterson get ran out of TCU. It's Gundy's conference now. As far as the head coaching and the longevity. And then, like you said, Kleiman's success that he's had, it's hard to do what he's done. He wasn't necessarily the guy, following the legend. There were some different dips in there. The Snyder thing was just so weird as it drug on, and then he was gone, and then he was back. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of a weird deal. But he's been awesome. And, by the way, the one thing you can't forget about Kleiman was what he did before he got there.
Up there at
North Dakota.
Yeah, and when they went and got him, and I understood, because like that program at that level, that was at D2, FCS, whatever it's called, FBS, that I thought, okay, that seems like a natural fit because they just feel like a Kansas State but further north. and at a lower level. So go get that guy, and bring him down. But it just still feels like a Snyder program.
Right. See, I'm getting
helm.
text. Gundy's on that downhill slide. If we had this conversation a year ago, everybody would have said Mike Gundy.
Yeah.
He can't. I mean,
injuries
derailed
Gundy
last season.
Is way up there, and you're at the injuries thing and stuff. But even OSU fans will say, "Man, there are things that Gundy, if he does, why he needs to make more changes at other position coaches and stuff like that, and that goes into being a head coach." But you're right. I mean, on the field, he can coach.
156 wins and 75 losses at Oklahoma State. I mean, come on. But I get, last season didn't end very well. And here's another thing. He's also been there since 2005 as the head coach. And all the warts, all the negatives that have built up are more apparent on him than anybody else because he's been there so long. So, but it's one of those two. Absolutely one of those two.
Yeah.
Spitzer Sanders ended up at Mississippi, question on the text line. So, who do you think? Gundy's clearly the longest tenured head coach right here in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I've got a list of the top 10 in the country.
Top 10, man.
Top 10 in the country. Can you tell me who the longest tenured coach in the country is right now?
Is it Ferentz over at Iowa? Kirk Ferentz?
It is Kirk Ferentz.
He was hired like a year before Stoops.
No, he was hired a day after.
The day after Stoops.
Yes.
That's right. Same year. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Do you know who's number 2?
Is it Gundy?
It is not.
It's not Saban.
It's not Saban. And it's funny because when you talk about the best coaches in the country, everybody always forgets about this guy, just like you forget about him on the tenured list. But he's absolutely one of the best coaches in the country.
Give me a clue. Give me a conference.
He replaced Urban Meyer.
I don't know.
In the Pac-12.
Oh, Utah coach.
Yes.
Whittingham.
Kyle Whittingham is a number 2. Number 3 is Michael Gundy. Whittingham was hired in December of 2004, Gundy January 2005, when Les Miles went down to Louisiana State. If you can get number 4, more power to you. I don't know if I've actually ever seen this guy's name before.
Oh, then
Rick Stockstill. You have any idea where he's a coach at?
Southern Miss.
Middle Tennessee State.
Middle Tennessee State. Okay.
Number 5.
They must be really complacent because they have not been good.
Make a bowl.
They
seemed
make
like. Number 5.
His longest tenure, number 5. Keep wanting to say Saban.
You're getting close.
Okay.
Wait for the next one.
Okay. Oh, thanks. Give me a conference.
Mountain West.
Oh man. Mountain West.
Academy.
Is that at Air Force?
Air Force. Troy Calhoun. December of 2006. Then you get Saban at 6. Number 7. You know him. This is
No, help me.
Dabo Swinney.
Oh, Dabo
Swinney. Number 8. This one kind of, I went, whoa. No way.
Who is it?
Mark Stoops at Kentucky.
See, now we're getting it because this is
2012. I mean,
2012.
it's over. Everybody's over a decade.
Everybody's at 10 years plus?
Yes. Then the last 2, good luck. Dave Duran at North Carolina State and Chuck Martin at Miami of Ohio.
Very good. Yeah, I mean, remember the days where people held on their coaches a little longer? I mean, now you've got so much coaching carousel fluidity every year. 2 years and they're done. Win now or get fired.
I mean, I think that's
it's kind of a testament to surviving that to those guys. You know, sometimes there are rumblings about Ferentz, and then he'll go and have a 10-win season.
I know.
You know,
I mean, you want to talk about?
Honestly, same thing about Gundy. There'll be some rumblings about him, and he needs to move on, and he needs to take that Tennessee job or whatever, and then he goes and has a 2011 or a 2021 or something like that.
I mean, you realize he's only had one losing season at Oklahoma State ever, his first. I mean, for me, that's just no one. It's just you take it for granted what he's done
now,
at that program and how hard it is to win there, how hard it has been to win there.
Who do you think? Listen, nothing lasts forever. So who do you think? Let's say I won't say Saban will go out on his own terms, but the top 5 on that list, who do you think will drop, or who will quit, or get fired, or retire, or whatever? Who's the first one you think will go?
Ferentz.
Feels like that retirement time is coming, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that any of those guys.
And nobody's safe. We thought Patterson was safe at TCU, and they ran him out of town.
I mean, once you get down to Mark Stoops, then from Mark Stoops down, but anybody above him, like Dabo, don't you feel like with what Dabo's done, he's already kind of earned that right to go out whenever he wants at Clemson?
Yeah.
Obviously, Saban's that way. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know the inner workings of Middle Tennessee or Air Force, but after 22 years or whatever, I guess not quite that long, 2006. So getting toward 20, you feel like they can do whatever they want. I mean, do you really think they're going to fire Mike Gundy?
No, we've always said that.
I guess it was close with all that controversy.
Yeah, but he
But
knows.
As far as performance on the job, it feels like he can do. He's there for
it's immaculate.
whenever he wants.
Yeah.
And then of course Whittingham. I mean, and then Ferentz. To me, it's Ferentz. And what's crazy about it is it almost seems like he is the one that they could actually get fired. Maybe.
Ferentz?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if they have that horrible offense
they've had, and here's the thing:
if he's not going to change it, then they might make a change.
Yeah, and you know who the offense coordinator is?
No,
his son.
Oh, see, they might clean.
That's
house.
the part that's where it gets a little bit weird,
right?
With Ferentz on the text line, Gundy 2 up and down for me. Rather have Kleiman in the steadiness of Chris Kleiman. I can understand that completely.
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah, that question earlier. Where would Mike Gundy go? What is a more attractive job for him?
I just don't think there is.
I don't think there is one. I mean, what if? I'm not suggesting this would ever happen, but what if it's somebody like Georgia or Alabama gives them? Those guys move on and they give him a call and they slide a blank check over to him. I mean.
You get the offer you can't refuse.
You think people would never leave? I mean, let's face it. No one thought Riley would leave. Look what happened. You never know, but Riley wasn't there for 10+ years.
And Riley's not an alumni of the school.
Right. That's a great point.
Those are the things. But and also Riley's young. I mean, how old's Mike? I can tell you. He got his.
He's not 40.
I've got it pulled up. 55 years old.
55.
So I mean, it's not inconceivable. If something like that happened in the next year or 2 or 3, he's not like an old man. I can't fathom that.
I can't either. I think he wants to stay at OSU, go out on his own terms, get his statue, move on.
Yeah,
and still stay in Stillwater. And
he already ought to have one.
The blueprint he should follow is Bob Stoops.
Well,
Bob, he retired on, and it looks like Bob's living his life, man, having the time of his life, doing what he wants to do.
Just sitting here thinking, it's kind of getting to that time. Stoops was there from, 99 to through the 2016 season. Guess what? That's about where Gundy is right now. Anyhow.
Bob did it gracefully where, obviously he handed the keys off to somebody who kept it going. But it was still a passionate he's still living in Norman, a passionate fan of the school, obviously with his son still there, but still doing his own thing. Like he still had that itch to coach. Like, well, I can coach in the spring in the XFL, fail or lose, who cares? And make some money.
I missed
then
this
go
one.
sell some tequila and doesn't have to feel bad about it because he's not coaching kids anymore.
Right. I missed this text earlier. Skinny and Jared with trivia is like Al and Jim doing music. I wonder who's who in that.
Well, Jim usually loses that one, so I'd be Jim.
Well, I mean, I had the answer, so it was a little unfair.
Yeah. We need a moderator.
I like it. Okay, so who, in your mind, what position group in the Big 12 is the best?
I wrote down a couple, but I think our answers are going to be the same. I think Kansas State's O-line is the best position group overall.
I do not disagree. The one I would put up against it, and maybe even better, is Texas wide receivers.
Okay, I went Texas quarterbacks because if Ewers goes down, they still have a pretty good backup in Malik Murphy and, of course, Manning.
Yeah, I went with the wide receivers.
But, yeah, wide receivers. You got Worthy. You got – help me out.
Whittington. The guy – and then some transfers.
Yeah.
That we didn't even see. That Nair, is that how you say that? He came from Wyoming towards ACL. Never even saw him.
Oh, yeah.
He's back. They are loaded at wide receiver this year, Texas is. So that's why I went – I would go there. Worthy is a guy that if he can just kind of cure a little bit of the dropsies that he had last year as a sophomore.
Yeah, he wasn't as good as he was when he was a freshman.
Yeah.
But you're right.
It's because, the
He's
drops.
still good.
Exactly.
Very good.
And, he's a guy that if with a good year is poised to be one of the, a first-round draft pick with the way that he can run. He's fantastic. And then he's got some guys along there with him as well. Yeah, Isaiah Nair is the one that was the transfer that we're going to see now. You had Jordan Whittington, obviously the mainstay in Worthy. So that's kind of where I would go. And especially if you include tight ends as pass catchers, then you got Jatavion Sanders as well, who might be the best tight end in the league, one of the better ones out there. So that's where I would, but I agree. I mean, K-State offensive line seems like you can say that every year. They got all, they got them all back.
They'll push you around. That goes back to that culture that's always been there since Snyder, is that run first, ground and pound, and they're going to continue to do that.
Yeah, BB is probably going to be the O lineman of the year in the conference. Yeah, that's. I think those two are pretty far up there. Compared to just about anybody else. I think the one group that has the potential, and it always has over the last year or two, and maybe this is the breakout time, is the wide receiver core at Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. They are loaded as well.
Yeah.
Completely loaded as well.
Which leaves my next question. I think we just answered one of them, or part of it. Like, what are the best position groups for OSU and OU? OSU wide receiver?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt.
What about OU?
Whew. Running back?
Yeah, with those young guys that showed up in the bowl game, gives you hope.
I'm hesitant to even mention this, but I think potentially, and it's hard to go out on this limb because of what we've seen the last decade at Oklahoma, but I do think potentially it could be the secondary.
See, I was almost going to say defensive line.
Yeah, I ain't going there yet. Now,
but do you count McCullough's position as a defensive lineman? That cheetah position, he drops back, or he can get down, get on the edge. I mean,
it's hard to place him.
Where do you put him? And
it's hard to place
position
him.
Group
To me, that's more of a linebacker.
Yeah,
but with what Oklahoma got in the transfer portal, and then obviously Bowen, I think that secondary.
I'm not ever go down that route.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to until it happens.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, Dakota on the text line. Now, here's something, and we can get into this as we move along throughout July and into August, but the recruiting trail is heating up, and there's a possibility, and this is going to sound ridiculous when I say it, but there is the possibility out there that say, maybe not next year, but in 2025, Oklahoma's second year inside the SEC conference, if the recruiting goes the way it could, and then, of course, there's also that caveat of, oh, by the way, these guys are really that good. But in 2025, there's a chance Oklahoma could have the best defensive line in the country. With what they got in P.J. Adebawore last year, and then David Stone and Williams Nwaneri is now the number one player in the country at any position on the On3 rankings. A couple of 5-star defensive tackles to go with Adebawore. I mean, you want to talk about a change in what's available on the defensive line for Oklahoma versus what it has been. I mean, I think there's a whole bunch of people that pass out if they saw that kind of talent on the defensive line at OU compared to what it has been.
That was the idea of bringing Venables in, and I kind of feel like, everyone's saying this is a make-or-break season for him. I think the bigger picture, he's a bigger picture hire, is we're hiring a guy that's going to build a defense for the SEC. You can't do that in 2 years.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting.
But that is the Venables effect, is what we're seeing on the defensive side in recruiting and the portal. Yeah, it will be real interesting. I'm very curious about the secondary. I mean, he's hit. I mean, on the recruiting now, we'll see if it hits on the field.
Yeah, I mean, but we've seen 4 and 5-star guys come in OU secondary for a long time now, and none of them have been worth a damn.
Yep.
Actually, on the field. I mean, 44.
Yeah.
Buki, kind of the star of that conversation. So we'll see about Bowen, but man, just to think about what's possible there on that recruiting trail come the end of July. August 1 is Nwaneri's commitment date, and it seems like Oklahoma's fended off Tennessee, seems like Oklahoma's fended off Georgia, and Lee Summit High School, Lee Summit, Missouri, is looking like a pretty good pipeline.
Yeah.
Caden Green from last year, offensive lineman. You get Nwaneri. Isaiah Mosee is maybe the best wide receiver in the country for next year's class, 2025's, all from right there. Pretty good pipeline building.
Tell you what, Venables might be the best recruiter of defensive players for the football team. Is Skip Johnson the best recruiter for the offensive players? Because this Taylor Tatum guy, I mean, it's down to 2 schools, OU and USC. Running back from Texas. Longview, Texas. And they're giving him the promise of, come here, you can play both.
And there's a bunch of people that believe the possibility of playing baseball in the SEC is a huge factor in the recruitment of Taylor Tatum.
I feel vindicated here.
Yeah.
'Cause I've been saying this is a big move for all sports, especially football, of course, but baseball too. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that angle. I just thought they're promising that he can play both. Yeah, but playing in the SEC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of the 2025 class, I've seen some rankings. You know who's ranked number 26 in the country in the football rankings?
No. 25? No.
C.J. Nixon, Weatherford.
Oh, the country. Oh, you mean individual?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Guy's already verbal to OU?
No.
No?
No. He hasn't verbal anywhere.
We got an offer.
Offer.
My apologies.
I guess his family's from Alabama. I did not know this. And that Alabama offer will be a big one in his mind.
Oh, man. Well, goodbye.
Man, we don't know. But anyhow, just for, we talked about the Carl Albert stuff and the guys that are going to be on the field that night here. Don't forget about that one with Weatherford coming and C.J. Nixon, not only on the football field, but everybody knows how good a basketball player he is, too. Just incredible. The talent that's headed this way.
Right, yeah. It'll be a fun year at Big Elk Stadium. A lot of talent coming in. Wow.
Not to mention, the guys in brown and white.
Well, of course. That goes without saying.
Final update of the show from Southern Hills. Ryder Cowan 4 up through 9 holes. In his semifinal match, looks like we're going to have a new champion no matter what. William McDonald is 5 up through 10 against the defending champion Ian Davis. So Ryder trying to become the first person ever to win the OGA Junior, match play, the OGA stroke play, and of course the state amateur going on right now at Southern Hills. Ryder 4 up through 9 in his semifinal match. So good stuff. Good stuff today. We didn't even get to all the Big 12 stuff. We can do some more of that tomorrow.
It's 2 days of Big 12 media.
And we'll have some things filtering out from today that we can discuss tomorrow. I want you to explain something to me tomorrow. We're going to get to it.
All right.
It's been the Skinny on Sports right here on the Sports Animal.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.